Crash Course on World War II, Pacific War, Second Sino-Japanese War,太平洋戰爭, 8 Nian Kangzan. The Second Sino-Japanese War, also known as the Pacific War, was a major conflict that took place in China from 1937 to 1945. This 8-year-long struggle between China and Japan was one of the most devastating wars in world history, with millions of casualties on both sides. Background: the Second Sino-Japanese War began in 1937, when Japan invaded China and launched a full-scale assault on the Chinese mainland. The conflict was triggered by a dispute over the ownership of the Marco Polo Bridge in Beijing, which led to a full-scale invasion of China by Japan. The war was part of a broader conflict in the Asia-Pacific region, which eventually became known as World War II. The United States, Great Britain, and other Allied powers were involved in the Pacific War, fighting against the Axis powers of Japan, Germany, and Italy. Key events. Some of the key events in the Second Sino-Japanese War include: 2. Marco Polo Bridge incident. On July 7, 1937, a dispute over the Marco Polo Bridge in Beijing led to a full-scale invasion of China by Japan. 3. Battle of Shanghai. In August 1937, Japan launched a massive assault on the city of Shanghai, resulting in a 3-month-long battle that left tens of thousands dead. 4. Nanjing Massacre. In December 1937, Japanese troops captured the city of Nanjing and proceeded to massacre tens of thousands of Chinese civilians and prisoners of war. 5. Battle of Wuhan. In 1938, Japanese forces launched an attack on the city of Wuhan, one of the largest cities in China. The battle lasted for several months and resulted in heavy casualties on both sides. 6. Doolittle Raid. In April 1942, American bombers launched a surprise attack on Tokyo and other Japanese cities, in retaliation for the attack on Pearl Harbor. 7. Battle of Midway. In June 1942, the United States defeated the Japanese Navy in a major battle near the Midway Islands, turning the tide of the war in the Pacific. Consequences. A. The Second Sino-Japanese War had a profound impact on China and the rest of the world. Some of the key consequences include: B. Casualties. The war resulted in millions of casualties on both sides, with an estimated 20 million Chinese civilians and soldiers killed or wounded. C. Economic impact. The war devastated the Chinese economy, leading to widespread poverty and starvation in many parts of the country. D. Political consequences. The war had a significant impact on Chinese politics, leading to the rise of the Communist Party under the leadership of Mao Zedong. E. World War II. The Pacific War was a key part of World War II, and it helped shape the outcome of the broader conflict in the Asia-Pacific region. Interesting stories and examples. The Flying Tigers. The Flying Tigers were a group of American volunteer pilots who fought in the Second Sino-Japanese War, providing air support for Chinese forces. Led by General Claire Lee Chennault, the Flying Tigers were credited with shooting down hundreds of Japanese planes and providing critical support to Chinese troops on the ground. The Rape of Nanjing. The Nanjing Massacre was one of the most brutal episodes of the Second Sino-Japanese War, with Japanese troops slaughtering tens of thousands of Chinese civilians and prisoners of war. The massacre is still a source of tension between China and Japan today. Chiang Kai-shek and Mao Zedong. The Second Sino-Japanese War helped shape Chinese politics in the decades to come, with the conflict leading to a split between Chiang Kai-shek's Nationalist Party and Mao Zedong's Communist Party. The two sides would fight a bitter civil war after the end of World War II, with the Communist Party eventually emerging victorious and establishing the People's Republic of China in 1949. The Burma Road. The Burma Road was a vital supply route that connected China to the outside world during the Second Sino-Japanese War. Built by the Allies in the early days of the conflict, the road allowed China to receive much-needed supplies and equipment from the United States and other Allied powers. The Battle of Guadalcanal. While the Pacific War was primarily fought between Japan and the Allied powers, Chinese troops also played a role in some key battles. In the Battle of Guadalcanal, for example, a Chinese regiment fought alongside American forces to repel a Japanese assault on the island. The War of Resistance Museum. The War of Resistance Museum in Beijing is dedicated to the Second Sino-Japanese War, and features exhibits on the war's causes, key events, and consequences. The museum is a popular destination for visitors interested in learning more about the conflict. The Comfort Women. The Japanese military forced thousands of women from China and other Asian countries into sexual slavery during the Second Sino-Japanese War. These women, known as comfort women, were subjected to brutal treatment and exploitation, and the issue remains a source of tension between Japan and its neighbors to this day. Overall, the Second Sino-Japanese War was a pivotal event in world history, with profound consequences for China, Japan, and the rest of the world. While the conflict was devastating in many ways, it also led to some remarkable acts of heroism and cooperation between different nations and groups. Here is a poem on this Second Sino-Japanese War. In the land of the rising sun, a war raged, battles were won. Japan's aggression knew no end, as they sought to extend their empire over distant lands, with guns and bombs in their hands. But China would not yield. Their strength would be revealed. For 8 long years they fought, a war with battles often fraught. Their courage knew no bounds, as they pushed back Japan's hounds. The Burma Road was their lifeline to supplies from allies so fine. And in Guadalcanal they fought with Americans, a powerful onslaught. The comfort women's plight was a tragedy, a sad blight on Japan's war record, so cruel. But the survivors, they still rule. The War of Resistance Museum honors the brave in a fitting tomb. Their sacrifice, their courage, their might is a testament to the human fight. The Second Sino-Japanese War, a conflict like none before. It shaped the world we see today. And we honor those who fought, come what may. ***, start planning your next global adventure with ease and convenience with our Booking.com referral link. https://www.booking.com/index.html $8 equals 79893335 is a great choice to plan your next trip. You can find and book flights, hotels, cars, and local attractions all in one place, and their price match guarantee ensures you're getting the best deal. Thank you for kind support our An Hub Metaverse channel, and please watch more interesting videos here.